What's up everybody, Brian Zayn here with my predictions video for this Saturday's big event, the Chambre d'Elimination, happening in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It's going to be a big show this weekend. I think that some of the matches you're going to see on this card also belong on Mania, at least as they do right now on paper. Of course, this show is going to go a long way in influencing some of the bigger Wrestlemania matches, which I will talk/speculate about. But let's start by talking about the big rubber match with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. That's one of those matches I mentioned that I think does belong on the proper WrestleMania card. Obviously, you probably want more star power and stuff on a show like this to help kind of bolster it as we head into Mania, which is probably why it's here. These two each have a win over the other. We saw at the Rumble match this year how Lashley very quickly and emphatically eliminated Lesnar, just adding more heat for this big confrontation. The way I see it kind of going down, I think Lesnar's probably going to win the third match. I think that, the fact that we got 3 singles matches with these two in the last year or so is really great, considering how long Lashley has publicly campaigned for a match with Lesnar, and then we finally got them this past year or so. I think it's awesome, and it doesn't really matter to me who wins this feud ultimately, because regardless of who wins, I always do, like I've mentioned before, I do like seeing these kind of big battles between two titans, these big water heater-shaped dudes just able to suplex each other. That's my kind of stuff, man. Let's see more of that. It's probably another shorter match, kind of on the same level of the other matches, but in the end, I think Lesnar is going to win. Moving on to the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley taking on the Hall of Fame couple of Edge and Beth Phoenix. This feud goes back several months and has a lot of deeply personal animosity in it. We saw back in October at Extreme Rules, the I Quit match. That was when Beth Phoenix was used as a pawn to force Edge to say I quit, and then they smashed her with a concerto anyway. Then we saw what happened in the Men's Rumble match this year when Rhea attacks Edge from behind on the stage area. Beth comes back and jumps Rhea, and that builds up to all this. Again, if this were another situation, and if Rhea did not win the Women's Rumble match, this match should have gone on WrestleMania because of the way they've been building it, and it just feels so epic and dramatic in that sense. But I think it has a great place here. I think this is a tough one to call, because on the one hand, you want to have the feel-good, yay, Beth comes out of retirement and she and Edge beat the Judgment Day, but I mean, you got to keep momentum going for Rhea after having won the Women's Rumble match, and so I don't really see a situation in which I see she and Finn losing this one. I think we are going to see the Judgment Day win the day on this matchup here. It'll be a great performance. It'll be fun to see Beth coming back, and I think these are two women who, if Beth were in her prime, I would have loved to have seen more, just if these two could have a dream matchup, as it were. We might still get a singles match with these two down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea wins the championship at WrestleMania, Beth could be an early contender and keep that thing going, because I think there is money in a one-on-one match with them. But for right now, I think the Judgment Day is winning. There's the Women's Elimination Chamber match where the winner faces Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. And looking at the field of competitors in this thing, I really can't see anyone but Asuka winning. I mean, maybe you could argue Liv Morgan, less so Raquel Rodriguez, maybe Natalya a little bit because she just came back, but I mean, just looking at the marketability potential and just the momentum gained here from the Rumble match, I don't see anyone but Asuka. It just makes the most sense for Asuka to win, considering her new look, her new edge, what she did in the Rumble match. It just makes a lot of sense to me to have her there. If we can't get, Rhea versus Bianca at Mania, you got to have Bianca versus Asuka. So to me, it's easy. Asuka wins. Then you get the Men's Elimination Chamber matchup. This one's for the U.S. Championship. Austin Theory defending against Seth F. Rollins, Damian Priest, Bronson Reed, Montez Ford, and Johnny Gargano. But really, the field to me is going to come down to the first two names I mentioned. It's going to be Theory or it's going to be Rollins. That is the feud, and also the way they are kind of talking about him as he's off in the distance here. It feels as if Logan Paul is going to play a role, maybe not in this matchup, but I think that it's going to come down to Theory or Rollins as the champion in this chamber matchup, and that's going to lead to a triple threat involving Logan Paul. I can't see at this point Logan having just a singles match with Rollins, with Theory still being involved. I imagine this would be something high profile for Logan to be involved in a triple threat. So that's why I think it's going to come down to Theory versus Rollins. But as far as who wins the belt in this match, in the Chamber, I mean, it doesn't really matter based on my prediction for Mania, but I think that if I had to choose somebody, I could see Theory managing to pull out the stops and managing to retain. Then there's going to be this very highly emotionally charged main event match for the undisputed WWE Universal Title, say that 5 times fast, as Roman Reigns defends against the hometown hero in Sami Zayn, who has ridden this huge wave of momentum with the Bloodline storyline. What we saw at the Rumble, I've talked about it before, I'll say it again, it was epic, and really as far as an emotional catharsis of that moment of the chair shot, nothing can really beat that. But the only thing that could beat that is Sami Zayn doing the impossible and beating Reigns on Saturday, which I don't believe he'll do. It's going to be a real heartbreaker of a match. We are going to see some insanely close false finishes. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a dusty finish in this, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if it looks like Sami's going to win, but then there's some kind of referee malfeasance going on, and then we've got, Roman pulling out in the end. We do know that the Usos are not supposed to be there in attendance for the show. The wise man said the Usos going to have the night off and watch on TV. I don't know if they're going to hold to that, because I still see a possibility of the Usos costing Sami the championship, but I mean, you also want Roman to look, you want all that heat on him directly. If he's going to be the one to kill everyone's dreams in French Canada and have him beat Sami Zayn, he needs to do it alone, and he needs to be brutal about it. I think that's what we're going to get here. So Roman's going to win. He's going to put the hurt on Sami. I think this is where we see Kevin Owens make his return. Maybe not to cost anyone the match or cost Roman the match, but afterward he can help make the save from a further beatdown, and we get that big emotional reunion. 2 Montreal boys, and and having that big embrace. That's going to be cool. So even if we don't get Sami winning the championship, which I think, in a crazy pipe dream scenario would be a lot of fun, I just don't think we're going to get that here. By the way, the promo exchange with Sami and Cody on Monday to further plant the seeds of possibility, to open you to the possibility that Sami might just be the one to do it, I think was really cool. It's a very strange situation for them to be in. They've got these 2 top baby faces that the fans both genuinely like, and you really were afraid that maybe the fans would turn on one or the other. That was a fear of mine going into the Rumble, but it seems like that's not what they're doing here. The way they played that off on Monday was so well done, and it keeps you liking both of them. So unless they actually have to cross paths, you got to pick one or the other. I think right now the fans are in a good position to cheer for both of them. So long story short though, Roman retains. But those are just my humble picks, folks. What do you think is going to happen this Saturday at Elimination Chamber? I want to hear about it in the comment section below. Now, I will still see you on the other side with my review of the event, but it will not be as timely as I would otherwise like it to be. See, I'll be taking part in a sold-out POW Pro Wrestling event this Saturday night in Eugene, Oregon. As you might expect, that it conflicts with Elimination Chamber, I won't be able to watch the Chamber show in a timely fashion, or I won't be able to watch it live as it happens. I'll try and watch it as soon as I can on Sunday, get a review out to you either by Sunday night or by Monday at the latest is what I'm projecting. So my apologies for it being a bit delayed. I thank you in advance for your patience and understanding. It's going to be a big old wrestle weekend for me, and I'm very excited. Hope you're excited about the Chamber event as well. And by the way, if you're at all curious about POW Pro Wrestling and what we've been up to since leaving the main channel, you can check it out in the link I've got posted right here on the main screen. I'll see you on the other side with that Chamber review, folks, but until then, I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.